to get you feeling so low. That's about when I just took myself. Disco down and checked out the show. And they were dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. And dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. They were dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. And just when it hit me, somebody turned around and shouted, "Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. Break it down." I was a boogie singer, playing in a rock and roll band. I never had no problems now, burning down the one night stands. Everyone around me got to get you feeling so low. That's about when I just took myself. Disco down and checked out the show. And they were dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. And dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. They were dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. And just when it hit me, somebody turned around and shouted, "Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. Alright.
Great, man. That was a nice, smooth intro. It had a real nice island vibes. You're throwing out the island vibes, island vibes. I'm looking forward to tonight. It's going to be a good time. YNN, correctly. Yahawahashai News Network. Yeah, so thanks everybody for being here. We do have the memes of the week segment, and you've got the segment where you want to differentiate.
Oh no, I was muted for that whole thing, brother.
No,
I was.
Can you do it again? You know, if I want to differentiate between the four main topics that we're going to be talking about tonight, Jason was explaining that. Why don't you try to tell them again? I couldn't speak the word differentiate, so I don't know.
I can't believe I was muted for all that. But yeah, sorry everyone. So what I was saying is that tonight we are going to be going into some topics where there's going to be some critique, some criticism that could be, it could be a bump or a bruise on the ego for some people that listen to this message. But in the end, what we're trying to do is elevate everyone. And I think as we go through, there's four main words that are highlighted in the theme for tonight, the description. It's egotism, dogmatism, accountability versus blood guilt. What is your goal? How will you achieve it? So we want to make everybody super clear what each of those first four words mean and how they apply to fighting for the truth. And then we want to talk about what your goals are and how you're going to achieve them. So it's going to be an open, sort of raw sort of night. People that are prone to being triggered, I would expect to be triggered tonight. People that are less susceptible to being triggered, I would still expect to be triggered tonight. And then only those that are completely immune to it may actually pass through tonight without being triggered.
Yeah, I mean, these types of topics do bring up different viewpoints and different thoughts on this. We're just going to give you our take on these topics and show you the differentiations that we make between the two, or the four. We're going to be showing you four context points. Why don't you, so again, what are the four main points again? You got egotism,
dogmatism,
accountability,
and blood guilt.
Accountability and blood guilt. So we'll be breaking down the types of things that I've noticed quite often. If I stand dogmatically on a truth it's undebunkable, I've tried, Jason's tried, we've had other people try, and I stand upon that with boldness, right? And people will come and think that that's some kind of narcissism, right? No, when you find truth, and it's a foundation for you to stand upon. So these are the key important things. Then you get the egotism brought into the whole project, Jason. So with the egotism side, I practice working with the ego constantly, and it comes up, and I generally do a good job and beat it right away. I put it away. I put it to sleep. That's it. Choke it out, right? But there's always these battles with the ego, and someone who's being dogmatic about a point can sometimes be looked upon as someone that's acting out of the ego. But really, it's the truth itself is the roaring lion. It seeks whom it will devour. Me and Jason just speak the truth that we found, that we share with people. And so, you know, the other points too, with the second half of it, to accountability and blood guilt. So the scriptures teach us, and it's the moral book. If someone comes to a debate and they want to debate us on, you know, what is moral, right? We're going to bring to the table all of the different scriptures that talk about the path of righteousness. That's what we're going to show. That's what we stand upon dogmatically, not narcissistically or egotistically, because we separate ourselves out of the topic. But what we're looking for here is for people to understand that if you have an understanding of something, if you're able to understand it, you are then held accountable for what you do with that knowledge. It's the parable, what was it, of the talents, right, Jason? Do you want to jump in here and carry on your own topic if you'd like?
Yeah, well, the parable of the talents is one of the big ones for me. It's I brought it into the letter J being 500 years old because it's one of those truths where once you learn like such an important truth, the only name by which you must be saved, now all of a sudden you come to the understanding of what that name is. Can you just sit on that? Can you just park your ass and act like nothing ever happened, not explain to anybody else the truth that you learned? Can you use that to get yourself into the millennial reign, having not shared it with anybody? And the precedent that I saw in the scriptures was that of the parable of the three servants, wise servants and slothful servants. So it in that parable, you have the one that does the most is given the most. The one that does the medium amount is given the medium amount. The person that didn't do anything had whatever they had taken from them and given to those that did the work. So it's that right there. When we go through the four topics tonight, that's the scripture that I associate with blood guilt. I associate Ezekiel 33, the watchman warning. Right, if the watchman doesn't warn people, then the blood's on the watchman. So the parable of the good and wicked servants, the parable of the watchman, these are the things that I really hone into as far as blood guilt's concerned. And I'll say right now that it's what motivates me the most, because over the course of the last 5 years, what's happened is we've come out here and we've just shared truth. We're standing on 6 fundamental truths right now that separate us from the rest of the world, and not many people seem to care. So if I was egotistical, all right, if this was just about me, I would have just given up. I would have stopped there. I'd be like, whatever, people don't care, whatever, let them all die, burn, whatever. But I'm not egotistical. So there's an altruistic sense that keeps me motivated and driven, and the blood guilt thing, that once you know a truth, if you don't share it, now all of a sudden the people that could have been saved, that blood falls on your head. So as soon as truth comes in here, as soon as it comes across the doorstep, I am sweeping it right back out of here as fast as I can. Quick turnaround, right? Because as soon as it comes in, sweep it out. All right, the truth's out there now, so then the blood guilt is off of me. So this is the way I live. I see the world like I was going for a big loan. I wanted to buy some big expensive thing. I know that if I went into a bank and asked for the loan, that they would say, we want to see your last 2 years, your last 3 years of tax returns, and we want to see that not only do you have a stable income, that it's increasing, they want to check all these things out. So if I were to, at some point, with the things that we've done so far, and we've got a pretty extensive list of things that we've broken as brand new truths and fought for and won debates for, all these kinds of things, if I were to just give up now, then if the Great Tribulation didn't come, if judgment didn't come for a little bit of extended period of time, all of a sudden I would end up with some missing years in tax returns. All right, I wouldn't. If we stop now and a couple years from now we're at judgment time, the question is going to be, what did you do during this time period? So I see, in order to keep myself blood guilt free, that I have to continue doing what I'm doing until this judgment time begins, right?
Okay, so what I'd like to interject here is that what has been taken away from the population is the fear of the creator. Okay, so what they did was they took away people's understanding of why they're here, right? If you don't understand, I know that Jason had this in the title. What are you going to do about it? I'm taking it to the why we do what we do. So I was raised to fear being wicked, right? It was my mom's mom was the one who was the preaching scriptures and taking you to church every now and then and having the church at her property, and I would do the landscape and cut the grass and the gardens and everything, and then I would listen to the ceremony that took place there, the biblical reading, and she was the one who put the fear in me, right? That we're here for a purpose. Like, you have a specific reason you were born, and if you sway from that, if you try to be like Job, or not Job actually listened, Jonah. If you try to be like Jonah and you try to run from your destiny, what do you think is going to happen to you? Right? Jonah got swallowed by a whale and then spit out half decomposed and then sent to the city to preach repentance. And guess what? The city repented. But the Father, it seems like this time, no, it doesn't seem like it is. He's looking for those that choose without seeing the supernatural, right? How amazing is that? This is something that I really want people to understand. So if you're mentally capable of understanding truth, you've been gifted that knowledge, right? It's like a talent that's been handed to you. It's laid down on your lap. Now, what we're telling everyone on the other side of the screen is we flip through these books, right? Boom, what does it say? Okay, the next aeon or the next age is 1,000-year time period. And we flip back through the book. Okay, it says when you do certain things in this time period, they count as rewards in that time period. You're in a game, right? It's serious. Consequences are absolutely serious. You're in a game and there's rewards given. You can be righteous, you can be loving. And you know what? If you're not being tested on the other side of the screen, if you're not having the ego brought up, if you're not constantly progressing forward, doing shadow work, doing these types of things, cleaning thy own eye, right? Before you go around casting out beams in other people's eyes, you better make sure you've brought your darkness to the light and learned how to go through that. And this is the process that the scriptures told us. So the 1,000 years, Jason said, like, where are we going? What is your goal and how are you going to achieve it? We're doing the works for the millennial period, right? Christ was walking along and seeing somebody working on the Sabbath. And he asked them, do you know what you're doing? Because if you do, super righteousness is accounted unto you. But he said, if you don't know what you're doing and you're breaking the law of Moses, woe unto you. What we're saying is it doesn't matter what time of the day, what part of the year, if you're doing righteous things, sharing truth, spreading truth, lifting people up, being kind and loving and being a good parent, there's all these different things that's all we need to do to make the Father happy. But, one thing that men need to do is sweat, work, provide, be honest, be accountable. Being accountable is another part of the main reason of my rant. The Father wants little can be trusted. If you could be trusted with a little, he can trust you with a lot. So it just takes a small amount of dedication. And coming from me, I was almost 480 pounds not that long ago, 300 down to 290, down to like 260. So I'm telling you guys, the Father wants to see us work. He wants to see us do things. And that's what brings him joy. And then we're going to be rewarded for it, right? This is the goal of the game. And when we stand upon things dogmatically, right? When someone on Facebook last week was promoting the whole orgy in the Garden of Eden and Cain was the son of Satan, I went dogmatic. I said, you better be very careful when you're calling Eve a whore, having orgies, fathering a son of an angel, right? Because if you don't have scriptural evidence for that, the mother of life, you're going to be held accountable for going around teaching this, right? These are the things that Jason and I, when we find something that we can foundly stand upon, we will be dogmatic, and it can come across as narcissistic, egotistical, but it's not. It absolutely isn't. We need to take these positions to show strength, right? We want other people to have strength too when they find the truth, when they understand these things. So we know that angels don't even have sexual organs. They weren't created to reproduce. That's what mankind is for, right? That's why we're so special. We were created to be creators. It's basic knowledge. Okay, everybody on the other side of the screen, Satan is not the father of Cain. Cain was born with a twin sister. She apparently, I haven't completed the research, it seems that the twin sister was actually born first. How about that? There's a new piece of information brought to the table this Friday night, which is not a scripture night. I'm going to stop the rant. I saw Jason might have made a face. He might have been like, so Cain was born with a twin sister. Abel was born with a twin sister. You can read the different books that have this information, Holy Spirit inspired, and you can reach the truth and then stand on it dogmatically, because you know it's for the righteousness of the simulation, the whole game, the whole beginning, all the scriptures, the script of the simulation is probably, in my opinion, like one running long movie, right? And all the good things that happened are going to be kept, and all the bad things are probably going to be put into a burning file, just like that. And that's the end of my rant for now.
No, that's great. So we're riffing a bunch of this tonight, but with a certain theme, a certain topic in place, and then we'll get into the memes. But I want to dig into this topic a little bit more and make sure everybody understands exactly what it is that we're talking about. So we're talking about the things that are going to be ascribed to you. When the book of life is opened, there's going to be an accounting of what you've done for the truth and of your sins, right? There's going to be these two tables. One's going to be all your sins. One's going to be the things that you've done for the truth. And so we are taking this opportunity to increase the accountability onto you, as good team members do. As we get into this information, we're going to show you that the most successful teams are the ones that transfer accountability to its members. That is what actually gets people involved and doing things. That's how teams win. That's how they succeed. We're going to
remember.
Go ahead.
Remember the story of, was it a centurion, a Roman soldier who met Christ, Yahawahashai, and he said to him, "My son is sick. My son is going to die," and you know, he didn't even ask to go to his house, but the soldier said, "You don't even have to come. I believe you. If you say it be done, it be done, because I know when my commander tells me to go, I go." And Yahawahashai was like, "It is done for you." Not in all of the Hebrews have I seen righteousness accounted to anyone like unto this man. And what Jason's bringing up is your accountability into the same exact understanding. I thought that fit.
Yeah, so accountability. Now, the reason why we're taking on all these terms tonight is because there's been a theme going on within the comments that I receive on the channel. And one of the things that I see now is a bunch of people that attack us, saying that we're egotistical or we are narcissistic, or they would listen to us, but we think we're all that, or we're all high and mighty, or you guys think you know everything, right? These are the accusations that are laid across the table in the comment sections. I get them, and so I see them accumulate over time, and I see the frequency of it, and I can see trends. And so right now we are trending towards people wanting to respond and say that we're egotistical. Right, so I'd like to approach the word egotistical, and so I do have 4 tabs on this 4 topic that at some point when we go into screen share, we'll go through the definitions of these words and dig into the topic a little bit deeper. But so I'm seeing that trend of us being called egotistical, where at the same time I want to let everybody know there's a side of me that strategically uses dogmatism in a righteous way. So we'll look at the definition of dogmatism, and you're going to see that by definition it's a person that usually jumps to a like a happenstance circumstance. Like they don't have all the evidence, but they come through real bluntly, real, blatantly. Dogmatism used correctly, when a person actually has the actual truth, is really, it's the best means of sharing truth, because what it does is it triggers people too. Right? So when you take that dogmatic approach where you act like you know everything And at least in this situation, you know that you are guaranteed 100% dead nuts on. Like, so I'll give you an example of this. Letting people know that the only name by which you must be saved cannot be Jesus. This is one of these dogmatic statements where all you have to do is tell a person the letter J was created 500 years ago, and then all of a sudden, poof, 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 you click through this process of thinking, and all of a sudden you realize, well, Jesus was more like 2,000 years ago, then his name couldn't be Jesus. So to take a dogmatic stance like that, it is this triggering type thing that does get people's peacock feathers ruffled, right? They're like, you can't do that, you can't say that, but you can if it's actually true. So we use dogmatism in a way to trigger people into actually engaging and taking a look at the information. There's been a little study going on that Ronnie and I have been conducting recently where there was a hangout that we did recently where some people will think that Ronnie was extra aggressive during that hangout. And so Ronnie actually went into that hangout sort of prepared to do that type of triggering. And then I got to actually sit there and measure the metrics of the responses, people coming back from it. And surprisingly enough, the strategy that Ronnie employed there worked. So we run across a fine line here where to get people's attention, to actually get a reaction, to get motivation of a person to just do something, to type like a string of 10 characters together and hit enter, we've gone to such lengths, such extreme lengths to get that type of reaction. And because if we don't push it that far, if we don't trigger people that hard, we don't get any reaction. So you can look back at the last few videos. You know, we have a team that we talk about here, hashtag Team Yahawahashai. But if you look back in the chats, how many people do you see actually have commented in it? Right? So we have the people that comment in the chat. Now this is one of the things that I want to get out there right away. The people that do things know what they've done. You can't take it away from them. Right? So we're not talking to the people that have done stuff. If you are a commenter in the chat, if you are a commenter in the videos, if you are sharing this on other social media platforms, if you are sharing hashtag Team Yahawahashai, if you are doing any of these things, you know who you are because you're actually doing it. You have timestamps for each and every one of those things that you're doing. And that is the comfortable place to be where you know that you've absolved yourself from blood guilt. Right? So if you have those types of timestamps and then the creator comes to you and asks you, what have you done to share the truth? You can say, here, check it out. Right? If you haven't done it, then what are you going to say? That's where blood guilt really worries me. So what we're trying to do is, in the most friendly way, trigger all of you to the most extreme extent where you actually take this serious, that your eternal life is on the line. That you actually have to do something in order to be saved. Like, nobody's saved yet. Nobody's...
No, right.
Right?
So,
go ahead.
Just interject, like, okay, let's say you understand something. You're a parent. You have a child. You know that if the child runs out onto the highway when the cars are going by, it's going to get run over. You know that, right? You're not going to let that happen. So if you're capable mentally to understand things at a higher level, if you're able to discern the scriptures and understand the times you're in and the path that we're on and where we're going, you have a level of accountability that's reached the peak. Like, what do you do now? What are you on the other side of the screen? What are you willing to do? What would you do? Now, if you love your child the way that you do, what if you just loved everybody that way, including the things that are wicked of this place? Because, you know, if you have a child that turns out to be someone that's bad, you still love that child. I don't care who you are on the other side of the screen. If you tell me you don't love that child, you're absolutely lying. You've never had a child if you take that position. So Jason and I have the absolute most amount of accountability upon our shoulders. We teach people that if you come out here teaching truth, whether you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter what religion, truth, coming out of your mouth, if you're lying, if you're leading people astray, you're accountable for it, right? So what we really constantly try to do now, there are multiple ways to reach people. Some people like to have poetry. Look at David. David's going to be brought up again soon when Jason goes to the screen shares. David had like the sweetest heart. He talked about salvation. You can't find too many other people in the old scriptures talking about salvation. But yeah, you had Enoch and David, but they were accountable. They were held accountable. And this is the thing that continues to go on. So Jason and I really want people, we will go to whatever lengths that it takes, whatever lengths that it takes. That's why we put our resume in to do the work, right? We put it in. Do we have supernatural powers? No. I would be a lot more dogmatic right now if I could bring fire down from heaven upon wicked people. It would be a totally different situation.
Me too.
All we could do is speak truth. That's what we're here to do. And what are you willing to do on the other side of the screen? Again, the next 1,000 years that's coming up, you have to have a ticket to get in, right? Who are you going to fight for who doesn't have a ticket right now? Because constantly in the scriptures, even Christ, Yahawahashai himself said, I did not come for the righteous people. He came for the wicked ones, because everybody that has a good heart needs to hear the truth. They need to come to the understanding of why they're here and where they're going. Then they can do something about it. Go ahead.
I think you just said a money statement, brother. I want to rewind to who are you going to fight for? All right, that's not on the list right now for people that are going to make it. Who are you going to fight for? So, do you have a list? Do you have a goal? So you're out there, you're looking for truth. Obviously, you're doing a pretty decent job if you come into a sandbox as small as the one that Ronnie and I are in. So, who are you going to fight to save from the coming destruction? Who are you going to fight to save? Like, do you have a list? Have you talked to all the people on the list? You do realize that at a certain point, it's going to drive a wedge between you and certain people. But if you don't try, what's going to happen when you're asked, did you even share the truth with these people? Did you try? What did you do? Like, you didn't care about them, did you? You didn't care about them. That's. Think about the position of who are you sharing this information with? Think about that position right now, everybody, because you need to have a goal. You need to actually have a list. You need to have a strategy as how you're going to break through to these people if you're going to be effective. These things don't happen by accident.
So it's a good point that you made. When you want to accomplish something, first step, write it down, type it into a notepad on the computer or in your phone, write it down, and then look at the list. And then you get to check things off, and it feels good. It feels good. And, I know there's a lot of people on the other side of the screen that are probably amazing at these things, right? We're just trying to bring you an adaptation of it where we include the truth, because the truth is the most valuable thing here. You can take anything you want from me. Just give me the truth. You can have anything. I will live the most humble, meek life that you want. And meek also means having the power to do something and not. So again, I'll let you take it away. I just want people to understand that if Jason and I use different tactics and approaches to the team, and even you on the other side of the screen that's just tuning in for the first time, please make sure that you give us a large scale of time before you judge us. You got to get to know us. You got to hear the things that we say over and over again, just like the way that you were indoctrinated through the education system. It happened through 16 years, some people 20 years of their lives. They repeated the exact same thing. You can't just come here and take a little snippet from Jason and I and think, oh, these guys are narcissists, or, oh, these guys think they know everything. We want you to just take a longer look at the broad spectrum that we present. Tonight, there's going to be so many different topics brought up for the truth. Again, when people ask me, oh, you're into religion. No, Jason and I, our religion, it's truth. That's it. That's it. If you speak truth, you are in our religion. We work together. I don't care who you are. You say you're a shaman. You say you're Wiccan. You say you're a pagan. You say you're anything you want, a Haitian voodoo master. As long as you speak truth, right, and you're not harming other people, and you're speaking truth and sharing truth, you're with us. Those that are with us are with us. Those that are lying and deceiving people are what's called the adversary. The word Satan means adversary, right? Of the truth. So that's it at the bottom line. You guys, all you gotta do is share memes, share truth, like do something, like someone else's stuff, find other people like you, right? Then there's whole other attributes of things you can do. You can be an encourager. The scriptures teach about all these things. You can be someone that motivates people. You can be someone that's a tough, strong figure in someone's life. You just stand there and you go through the process with them. Again, this is my last part of the rant. Jason and I have totally different styles with how we do what we say. We both, I've usually been the softer approach, the poetic kind, and Jason's usually the logical, dogmatic person, right? So we've always employed different tactics, and sometimes triggering you. That I didn't find out that I was supporting a satanic network until Christians, a guy named Wake Us From Slumber, right, and Edifying Others, triggered me. They came, they blasted me, they tagged me in a comment that showed up in Google when you typed in my name, and it said I was supporting Satanists, and they provided me with the evidence. The whole entire team that I was working with in the hoax community were all promoting like Saturn ritualistic Satanism and all different kinds of things. And once I saw that, I absolutely thanked those guys, and I continue to follow the channels. Even to this day, they don't do as much anymore. I guess when Jason and I started, because we saw some definite ways to, it woke me up. I was like, wow, you know, I got triggered. I was like, how dare you, man? This guy is such a nice guy, blah, 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 blah. They were like, boom, hard, dogmatic, right? And that's the exact same approach that we have to take, because I'm not willing to let anybody be taken away that the Father hath said is coming into the millennial reign. I will do whatever it takes. I've already shown you guys. And so will Jason. We that's what we're here for. We're not here to make money. We're here for truth. That's it. You can put that on my forehead. Truth. I do have a T, weird scar, but anyways, truth. That's it, right?
So we've got to dance a line. We've got to dance a line where we come in super dogmatic, knowing what we know, blasting the truth, just blowing people's doors off with it. And then we've got to deal with the backlash of people then labeling us egotistical or narcissistic. Oh, they're know-it-alls. They know everything. No,
well, I mean, I did read the whole internet though.
Yeah, but see,
I gained like almost 500 pounds just reading everything.
The topics that we talk about, be it a wide spectrum of things, we stick to the things that we've studied, the things that we know. So over the course of years, we've been able to accumulate a bunch of things, and we've got a lot of firsts. We do have a whole bunch of firsts.
I mean, again, it's all accounted under the righteousness of the kingdom. That's it. We don't get paid for any of this. The firsts are timestamps. So what does a leader do? They lead, right? We don't need to have words called leader put on us. We don't have to have the captain put on our jerseys. We just play. We just get out there and play. We lead. We do it. Nobody realizes how hard it is for a pack of wolves to bust through the snow. You should see what the alpha male does, right? He clears that way for everybody. And people don't really understand what actually goes into that, right? But we don't care. That's on you on the other side of the screen. You are the alpha male or the alpha female. You lead the way. You crush through that snow. Find the truth. Share the truth. Be accountable, because do you want to have great riches in the next life? Well, whether it be you die now or you get into the kingdom without dying, there's a possibility of both. What do you want to take with you? Because nothing that we can buy here we can take with us. Nothing. But when you do good things, when you follow and fight for the truth, that comes. That's bing. You have a little counter above you like in Mario. Ting, ting, ting. Every time you do something righteous or fight for the truth, whether it be dogmatic, whether you trigger someone and they turn from their ways, boom, ding, ding, ding. Those, you're getting riches, right? It's just, I want everybody to be there, and I want everybody to have everything we have. That's what we want for everybody. We've always wanted everyone to be part of a team, and it was never about Jason and Ronnie. We're going to be these great leaders. No, we're a team Yahawahashai. That's what we are. On the limitless side, he's the awake souls. You all are a part of it. Right. And that's what it is. Jason, when I first met you, one of your first videos, you were calling out everybody watching on the other side of the screen. You said, boom, look at this spot. There's no name here. Jason, you said, this could be your name. Right. And there's another spot. This could be your name. And what did I used to do? I used to interview everybody on YouTube, bring them up, show them, get everybody's info out there, right? It was always about sharing, getting everybody heard, everybody's opportunity to come to the stage. And that's what we want for everybody else. We don't want to be the only ones making content. We don't want to be the only ones sharing memes. We want all of you guys to fight for truth too. That's the main goal of why we're here, right? Because Jason explained that we have blood guilt. If you know something and you don't do anything with it, you're a wicked servant. They take what you have and you give it to the one who worked. And that is a righteous world. You build, you keep. You do something good gets back to you. This place is so infested with wickedness that none of that counts anymore. The hardest worker, even the guy pushing the broom, gets treated like a cockroach, like dirt on the floor, right? Yet sports players, which has got to be one of the greatest professions, get millions and millions of dollars to play a game.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's
and you have people that sit up there that call themselves government, right? That make laws and anti-Christian rules. Like, no one was told that you can't travel throughout this map. No one has the right to tell you that. No one. Bring me the deed signed by the creator of this place if you're going to tell me I can't travel somewhere. Bring me the deed. Show me your evidence that you have the right to stop any. There's so many of these different things that are broken in this realm, and they're all going to be fixed. And if you don't do anything now, like I told you guys, the guy working on the Sabbath, do you know what you're doing? Right? If you do, righteousness is going to be accounted unto you. Work, do something, plow truth. And again, we don't fight against flesh and blood. We're not cutting anybody down with a sword. We're not shooting any guns, right? Although if the supernatural ability is given, there will be that retribution too. It's not ours, it's the Father's to do. We're fighting a spiritual battle. Spiritual, right? Wickedness and powers of the air, on the airwaves. I want to make this super clear. Your words, your actions, your intentions are all weapons of war against a spiritual entity. And it doesn't matter if you fight that war on your own, as long as you're fighting, as long as you're doing something, albeit in a sandbox, you are fighting against spiritual powers, not earthly ones. We're not fighting against Putin or the politicians. They're all jokes. We should walk as far away from those people as possible. Spiritual warfare is the most important thing right now. If you don't know that we're in a spiritual war and you're watching what's happening right now, people having things taped to their faces, minor people doing that to them. If you don't know where we are right now, you're in serious trouble. You need to repent right now and ask the Creator, what can I do? You get on your knees and you ask the Creator of heaven and earth, what can I do for you? Put me to work. Help me, right? If you don't do these things, what are you? What are you here for? Especially men. Women are supposed to be the caregivers. They're the loving, nurturing, healing, inspiring part of the realm, right? They are to be praised, taken care of at all costs. Men are supposed to go to war, fight spiritually, not taking up guns and killing people, because we were told if you kill with the sword, you're going to die by it. We're supposed to fight spiritually. Men are supposed to be speaking out, going to the government places and saying, no, this is not right. We don't accept this. Writing papers, writing letters, going to all the different places. Men should be like the truckers in Canada. That was wonderful to see, Jason. What did you think of that? Let's get your full take on that, and I'll stop ranting.
Yeah, you can't just switch topics like that.
Okay, continue with what you wanted. I hope I didn't jog your memory.
Yeah, so the point where I was trying to take this all was to some actual sports analogies, like you brought up in your rant, that so the way I look at this, I'm a strategist, everybody. That is absolutely what inspires me. It's what drives me. I'm a strategist. I'm always thinking of strategy. It's my favorite part of being alive. It's genuinely just about the only thing that I think about is strategy. And so coming from that position, when I see that there's a game being played here that's for our eternal lives, I'm thinking to myself, strategy-wise, all right, number one, how do I absolve myself from blood guilt? Number two, how do I increase accountability on others so that they actually become involved and participate? Because my overall objective is that I altruistically would like to see as many people saved and not burn in the eternal hellfire as possible. Like these these are my goals.
That's righteous. That's
Right.
righteous. You're willing to fight for people's salvation. We'll fight you to get timestamps so that when we stand together in front of the judge, we can say, "Yep, I seen Joan. Joan was right there fighting for you." Right? Jason's fighting for that.
So I'm willing to take the egotistical strike, the narcissistic strike, where somebody's going to say, "Oh yeah, this guy's just doing it." See, the thing is, they don't have anything because we're not doing it for money. We're not doing it for fame. If we wanted to be popular, we absolutely wouldn't be talking about the truth. That's the quickest
Don't
turn
make
off.
me laugh, brother.
That's the quickest turn off to everybody. So the thing strategically is that number one, you got to evaluate all your players. Just pick any sports team, pick any professional sport, be it football. Let's do football and drag racing. So if you look at all the players, you run them through the combines, you're going to be looking for who's the fastest guy, who can do this drill the fastest, who can do this the fastest, and it's absolute, right? This isn't relative type stuff. This is he got this time at this. The drag racer, he got this time. These are exact measurements, and then you can do a ranking, right? Whoever has the best times is going to be ranked number one. Now, if you're putting together a team, right? A team's different now. Now all of a sudden you have a group of people where you're not going to have all number ones. Right? There's going to be people that are slower, but they have other strengths. So now all of a sudden, what you're looking for is people of a whole bunch of different strengths that are all bought into the same ideal, with the same objective, with the same goals. That is the team that's going to succeed. And the teams that apply the most amount of accountability across the board are the teams that are most successful. So you do have your breakout players, your stars, and then you have a supporting cast. And then you have coaches, and you have trainers, and you have all these other pieces of the puzzle where everything is important to the overall win. Now, I've got a little bit of an analogy here that, let's see, how did it go? So, I had a couple of them. They might come
Which
up.
ones? The hockey ones from earlier?
Yeah.
Well, the one main one we talked about was if you're on a team and there's someone that shoots the puck, the captain of the team, if you're on a power play and you're in the other team's end, you don't go and take the puck from him and shoot it out of the arena. Your objective is to pass the puck to him or her, whether it be a male or female sport. But that's the objective. You had a bunch like that. I don't think that one was exactly yours, but that's the one that I had.
Yeah.
And I went through that on a hockey team, semi, adult professional team that I was on. I'm not trying to be some special guy. I made the team. And my role wasn't to be the sniper. And when I did snipe and shoot a goal, I got on the bench and the player coach said to me, "Why didn't you pass it to Danny? He was supposed to take the shot." You know what I mean? I ripped it by him. He said, "No, your job is," and then we actually won the Eastern Canadian finals. We won the championship, and I stopped the other team's top line, and our scoring guy jumped over the bench and scored the winning goal right after that. Boom, I jumped over the bench in overtime, and we won it. And it was because I played my role. I stopped the other team from scoring. That was my job. I grew up a center scorer. My job in that playoff was to be a defensive player, and I did. I shut the other team down, and we won. So you on the other side of the screen, if you're not making content, if you're not making memes, if you're not doing this, you still have a very important job. You could pass the memes, you can put them out, you can speak the truth, you can come up with ideas for people to make videos, you can get involved, and you get righteousness too. Like, we share in this. This isn't a Jason and Ronnie thing, it's a team thing. Because come on, guys, we think we want to be the only ones in the garden making stuff? No, we want everyone else there so we can have sports there, and theater, all these different types of things. It's 1,000 years, guys. We're not just going to be plowing and restoring the garden, which we are going to do. We're going to get to totally redesign it all and work it and tend it. And all these different changes are going to take place, but we want you guys there. That's the whole goal. I'll stop the rant. We could probably go into screen share soon.
Yeah, let's go into screen share, and we'll take a look at a few tabs, and then we'll have the memes of the week.
I'm looking forward to that part.
Yeah.
Tell me when I'm off camera and I'll get set up.
Just a second.
thank you everyone for tuning in. I thank you everyone in the future. And thank you to all the lurkers. We got nothing but love for you too. Jason was a lurker for a time. I never was a lurker. Truth, what? Boom, in the chat. Boom. Can I come on the podcast? Yeah, boom. Accountability, right?
I'll give you a screen share in a second.
You're going first.
What is going on here? All right, you should be able to see this. Thank you to everybody that's joining. So egotism. I just want to go through these terms. We've talked about it here. Egotism is defined as the drive to maintain and enhance favorable views of oneself and generally features an inflated opinion of one's personal features and importance, distinguished by a person's amplified vision of oneself and self-importance. It often includes intellectual, physical, social, and other overestimations. The egoist has overwhelming sense of the centrality of the me regarding their personal qualities. So I can say with absolute confidence that the position that Ronnie and I are coming from with the truths that we're sharing with everybody, we're not doing it from an egotistical standpoint. None of this is about promoting ourselves as, oh, I'm so much better. I'm this, I'm that. Like, we've learned truths and we have the internal strength to turn around and share them. And we do this often before other people will actually even be aware of the subject. So that it's not egotism. What it is it's a type of dogmatism. Now I just want to show everybody the definition of dogmatism.
Well, can I
go ahead?
Yeah. So one thing that with the egotism thing, if I lost my point, never mind.
It's all right. Stop me if it comes back. So this is the dictionary definition here. The tendency to lay down principles as incontrovertibly true, without consideration of evidence or the opinion of others.
I did remember, but you want to say more on dogmatism?
No, go
Maybe
ahead.
read it again. Well, I definitely want you to read the definition of dogmatism again. So what I was thinking of telling people, so you can take a look at a tree, right? I'm going to use the tree as a analogy here. So the tree, it has roots, it has a trunk, it has branches, it has leaves, and sometimes it has fruit, right? The tree cannot be egotistical of itself. It's a tree, right? That's it. So the truth is the truth. It's a tree. Jason's a tree. I'm a tree. We're not ego. We just are what we are. We do what we do. And so does everything else in the realm.
Yeah, but that's see, that position, that would deny that there's egotistical or narcissistic people.
Some people are egotistical trees. That's what they are. You could spot them. There's narcissists, empaths, egotistical people. There's multiple different categories. And again, they are what they are. Now, can you change? Yes, right? Sometimes you can graft two trees together and you have two different fruits. So there are some situations where we have to be more definitive with what we're saying. And I'm just saying that instead of having a position of ego, it is what it is. We do what we do. And so does everyone else on the other side of the screen. It's not about ego.
Yeah, well, here's the issue. So once you start realizing that timestamps is a thing to be collecting, just like that movie Free Guy, right? So you see this virtual world and he's going around and he's, like you were saying with Mario, hitting the box, getting the coins, ding, 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 ding. So once you start realizing that this is something to actually be collecting in this world, is timestamps for fighting for the truth, then the quicker you do that, the earlier the timestamp that you get, and the higher up the score list you end up being. So it's like coming in a higher position in a foot race. It's the more effort you put in to sharing truth, the more timestamps that you're going to have that are closer and closer to being number one. There's always a number one. And then there's after that. There's always a one and then after that. Now, so we're going to be talking about the difference between absolutes and relativism. And there's a whole group of people out there that are going to be absolutely triggered by talking about absolutes. Absolutes exist. So in every race, there is a first place, a second place, a third place, and so on and down the line. There are winners in games, losers in games, and all this can be measured with absolutes. It's not a relative place where you finish. It actually has to do with a score that's accumulated. And we've heard from the scriptures so many times that this accurate record, that we have angels that are literally documenting the things that we've done for the good and for the bad each day. And then they come and present these.
The sun and the moon and all the stars, right? They cry out. They witness everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can be forgiven.
Of course. But the best time to do that is yesterday. Like, you know, the best time to plant a tree
10 years ago.
The best time to plant a tree is 30 years ago. The second best time is today. So the same is true with cleansing yourself through the forgiveness that you can get, and then abstaining from whatever the sin is.
And fighting for truth, just over and over again.
So, back here to dogmatism, the tendency to lay down principles as incontrovertibly true. So this is literally what we do all the time. We do this all the time. We have 6 fundamental truths that we absolutely lay down the principles as incontrovertibly true. 100% undeniable. We will debate anybody in this realm on the 6 fundamental truths. All right, with a pleasure, because we've done the work. We know exactly how to throw down anybody that takes a position against the 6 fundamental truths.
Yeah, just think of it like this. If you build a house, right, you can go and say to anybody else, I want to debate you on the dimensions of the walls that I built.
Yeah.
And you just measured them and built it. Jason and I measure and build the things, and then we come to the floor with the evidence. That's why we're incontrovertibly. Can you say it again? My words tonight are making me stammer. I'm sorry. Speak the truth again.
Incontrovertibly
true. I don't know why I stumbled, guys. I'm sorry. And that's the other thing too. Listen, if you're on the other side of the screen and you make typos, you make mistakes, right? Let me tell you guys, I'm up here. I put myself on the camera. I put out hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of posts where I write and talk, and I'm not perfect. You don't have to be perfect either. That's the beautiful of this thing. If you just do anything, it still gets counted to you, right? Incontrovertibly true.
All right, so this is where the second part of the definition, things fall apart. People couldn't say we are dogmatic. They wouldn't be able to say that because by definition it says without consideration of evidence or the opinion of others. So the things that we share that are incontrovertibly true is absolutely with consideration of the evidence, all of it, to the point that we can debate and overstand anybody in the world on these topics. And then the opinions of others. So this is where it gets a little iffy, because we started out real soft and gentle like 4 or 5 years ago, and hey guys, here's the truth. And now after 4 years, 5 years of sharing the same truth and it seeming to go nowhere, now we're like, here's the truth. Take it or leave it.
What are you going to do about it? I know I went hard on the model in that podcast, but we'll do it again.
But so the definition of dogmatism, the first part, we fit this to the absolute T. Absolute T. You couldn't get more exact with it. The second part is completely wrong because it's all based on the evidence. And even the way that we share the information, our intention of triggering people in certain ways, it's all calculated. It's 100% calculated for the person's benefit.
Well, and again, the second part of the statement of dogmatism, we absolutely do it with consideration of each and every person that we talk to. We take a look at every single thing. Jason and I are both deep analyst people. That's what we do. We analyze everything. We're analysts. We're pattern recognizing people. That's what we do. And there's consideration into every single thing we say and do and create. That's why we tell you guys what you put into your eyes, the content that you allow, that you watch. If you watch what they present, they show you the content of them. Jason and I are calculated with everything we show you. Are we perfect? No. I just said I couldn't even read incontrovertibly, right? I couldn't get the word out. So I'm far from perfect. Either you, the goal is to just do something, and guess what happens when you do things over and over again, right? And you have passion for what you're doing, guess what's going to happen?
So some similar words to dogmatism, because it doesn't really label us correctly. There's also an opinionatedness. All right, so I guess we fit that. There's peremptoriness, assertiveness, and imperativeness. So
those are some hard ones to read.
We really try to embody all of this based on facts and evidence, and just come with the imperativeness. With
you would think assertiveness would be a bad word with leading off with the ass, right?
Yeah,
like
but
that new anal swab thing to get into the Olympics.
Assertiveness could be it could be like preemptive strikes. It could be part of a strategy that
you want to be assertive. What do you mean? That's what the truth is.
All right, so we'll go on to our next term that we have in the title, accountability. And this is a great article, 7 Truths about Accountability That You Need to Know. All right, so this is great for everybody. Please pay attention. Number 1, accountability starts with you. Leadership defines culture, and if you want to create a culture of accountability, then it starts with you. You need to model the behaviors that you want to see in your organization. If you want people to take ownership, then you have to be seen to take ownership. When you make commitments, you have to be seen to meet those commitments. If you don't, then why should anyone else be interested in doing so? You have to walk the talk if you want others to follow you. Don't the accountability path. I think they might have
it's not well written.
It's not well written. But
nobody's perfect.
Yeah, so accountability starts with you. So here we are, we're talking about accountability. That means that Ronnie and I have to be accountable. We have to be accountable. So we have to set that accountable standard if we expect anybody else to be accountable. So
what good are you?
I'll just say that going live like 3 times a week, I think most people understand that we don't need We don't have to. We don't need to. We started out as 2 a week, and then we went to 3. And as much as we can, we stick to 3 a week. And this is all free. This is just a passion project for us. So we set the standard through that, and then through putting out content, and then through challenging other channels to debates. And actually, when the debates offered, when the opportunities offered, being there to actually accept it and take ownership of our position. So we did it with the Baby Truther show recently. We did it with Red's Rhetoric before. We've done this with many channels where we're calling people out, and then we're willing to back it up. We're willing to do the debate and take ownership of it. So I do believe that we are setting the correct standard here as far as being leaders. And then, so that's important. But then once a person becomes a part of the team, then accountability starts with you as well. So point number 2, you are accountable. As a leader, you are accountable. You're accountable for any failures as well as any success that your organization may have. Accountability comes as a part of the job description, which is why if you try to duck it, it will have a negative impact on the levels of accountability that already exist. So,
well, yeah, well written. So the way your children see you act, they're going to act. You're going to be accountable for your actions. They're going to copy you. So just like everyone else that puts themselves out in a leadership position, and again, a real leader doesn't call themselves a leader, they lead. You got to bust through the snow, you start busting through the snow. That's it. You don't, anyone that's going around talking about leader, this or that, run from. They're narcissists. You got to be able to discern the difference. But accountability, right, starts with you. You are accountable to yourself, and everything else follows after that. Once you take care of you, right? What good is a man that doesn't keep his word? So if you don't keep your word, what do you think your friend's going to do when they borrow the tool? They say they'll give it back in a week, but you didn't give their tool back. You said 1 week in like 2 months. They're going to probably be like, we don't have to give this back, right? But if you're accountable for your actions, if you say you're going to be there at 7, you be there at 6:45, right? These are the types of things that everybody should do. And be careful with what you say, because if you say you're going to do something, you're accountable for doing it.
Then you got to do it.
And
if you say you're not going to do something, then you have to not do it. Your yeses have to be yeses and your no's no's. Yes.
This is the way we live our lives. And it's not easy. It's not easy, especially when you like want to help people. You're, I'll do that. I'll do that. You know what I mean? You're like, And that's, again, just a side note, Jason is always holding me accountable for the things that I say in a good way, right? We don't have to get to a point where either of us have an issue. He just, helping out around here. I help with the chickens. We've got a bunch of livestock. There's dogs, right? If I say I'm going to do something, I got to do it, right? It doesn't matter what it is. If I said, okay, I will take care of the chickens on Tuesday and Wednesday. If I don't do it and the chickens die, it's blood guilt on me and everything else that we do. So just be careful with the things that you promise to people and just start looking at you is my point.
All right, so here's another bang on point. Number 3, accountability is not a one-time thing. Accountability is not a one-time thing, sometime thing. It's an all-time thing. Those people who don't want to be accountable or held accountable are always looking for any opportunities to get out of it. Any slips or gaps in your accountability will give them the out they need to only be accountable when they see fit. You need to be seen to be as being accountable at all times. So
this takes work. We're not trying to tell everybody on the other side of the screen that tomorrow you're going to be the most accountable person in the realm. No, this is a battle. This is a battle that we're showing you that we're in too. Okay, we're all in this together on New World Order-ish though.
Number 4, accountability applies to one and all. When you're looking to hold people accountable, you cannot play favorites. You cannot let it slide with some people. Accountability has to be consistently requested of everyone, all the time. If you choose to let one person ignore their accountabilities, then it opens the door for others to be selectively accountable too. So not playing the favorites. No inside favors. Accountability across the board. So that's the type of thing where, because I expect everybody to give a fair accounting of what I've done, when it comes time to judgment time, if I'm put in a position where I'm asked, well, hey, Jason, what did you see from this character? I'm just going to tell exactly what I saw across the board. No embellishment, no taking away.
But I mean, the rocks can do it if you don't. So we all have to just remember that.
Yeah, but there's an actual accountability of asking a person to be a witness as well. So now you can test the witness to see whether or not
make others accountable.
Yeah. All right, number 5, accountability cannot be delegated. You can't hand this off. You cannot delegate accountability. Accountability is something that has to be accepted for that person to feel accountable and to have them take ownership. The best way to get people to accept accountability is to set them up to be successful. No one is going to take ownership and show accountability for something that they know or believe is going to fail.
Ooh, that's such a great point.
If you want people to accept accountability, ask them if they have everything that they need to be successful. When they say yes, then they have taken a big step towards accepting accountability. If they say no, then you need to make sure you provide whatever is missing, because without it, they will never accept accountability. So, like you said, this is really one of the bangers right here. And so I'm going to toss it out to everybody that listens. Do you feel like you have been provided by Ronnie and I everything that you need to be successful for supporting the 6 fundamental truths? And I'm going to toss in there real quick, because I know people are going to say, as far as fundamental truth number 4 is concerned, I need to put out the updated True Names video, because we've adjusted our pronunciation and stuff, so we don't have a video that reflects it. I have to get that out, and so I'm putting accountability on myself.
I heard it. I witnessed to that.
Right? But outside of having the updated True Names video, do you have everything that you need to be able to prove to people the 6 fundamental truths that we stand on? And if not, I would expect you to ask for the resources that you feel are necessary so that we can get you out there sharing it, and that you can actually be accountable for it. All right? And then 6. Accountability is the difference between success and failure. We're talking about trying to put together a winning team, people. We're talking like we're the head coaches of sports teams right now, and we want to win the championship.
We're not going to the Olympics, I can promise you that.
When people don't take accountability in things, start to go awry, as they don't feel ownership, they go into spectator mode and watch as things fail. If they thought they would fail from the outset, it's even worse. They go into I told you so mode, which nearly always becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So here's, as team members, if you don't think that there's success down the road, all right, that's how you belly flop a team. That's how you belly flop a team.
You try to, but you can't belly flop the truth. It's a roaring lion. Doesn't care.
Yeah, see, that's the interesting thing. So there is a parable within the sports analogy where, all right, if you take a look at where we are right now with the comments and the shares and what's going on as hashtag Team Yahawahashai, I feel like we've gone into the locker room at halftime down against the other team right now. The Satanists are putting up more comments. They're putting up more links. They're putting up more shares. They've just been taking it to us in the first half. So my halftime pep time speech to the team would go something like this. I would come in and I would tell you, listen, the other team's outperforming us right now. The good news is the game is fixed. We know the outcome of the game already. We're going to win. Right? The only question is who's going to be on the team when we win. So hopefully that'll get people in the second half of the game going out there and trying to put together a performance that they don't get cut from the team.
And listen, everybody, this is a game about inches. And we know that when we add up all those inches, that's what's going to make the difference between winning and losing. You don't have to come up with a 35-minute video explaining everything in the realm. No, you just have to start sharing truth, sharing links, sharing videos, sharing memes. Just get involved. That's it. Just a small step at a time. That's it.
So such an important statement, this last one. In my experience, accountability is the single biggest differentiator between successful and unsuccessful teams. We will all want to be a success. Number 7, you have to hold people accountable. You can't just tell people they're accountable and then leave them to it. Yes, it may work for some, but not for all. You need to set up review sessions. You have to check in and see how people are doing. This serves 3 purposes. Lets them know that they will be held accountable for their activities. It gives you an opportunity to provide support in case things start to go awry. It offers you the opportunity to offer praise and encouragement to move people further if things are going well. Accountability is something that has to be worked at. There has to be a clear and consistent strategy on how it's going to be implemented and validated. It starts with you, and it has to apply at all times to everyone. When you can do that, it will help you create a culture of accountability where the organization will start to hold itself and others accountable, which will have a massive impact on performance and results. So that is what we're looking for. And tonight is literally part of our accountability strategy. So by taking this information and sharing with you that we're talking about accountability, it then puts it on you that, all right, you are a member of the team if you're fighting for the fundamental truths. So where can we help you? Is there any place that you feel like you could use some extra support? Because we're here to offer that for you. We want you to know that you have a couple guys, and Ronnie and I, that you can, if you're out there battling people over the 6 fundamental truths, we got your back. If you get somebody,
tag us in. We'll come in there.
If you got somebody against the ropes, and they're willing to do a live public debate, we'll take them on for you. You don't even have to do it.
That's the best. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, so I really like the accountability thing. And again, I let everybody know that when the Roman soldier said, I know that if you speak these words, it'll be done, as the same way that when my commander tells me to do something, I go and do it. So be accountable, like women and men. Be accountable. You're women, you have to be inspirational. You have to be leaders. You have to be the rational calmness, the caregiver, the soother. That's your job. Men, stand up, fight, hold yourself accountable. And I don't mean go around killing people right now. Start speaking out against the tyranny. Speak up, fight, spread truth, find others like you. When you're out in the public, tell people, hey, you don't need that. You can take that off and just breathe the air. You're going to be just fine. Look at me. I've never worn one. You just become someone who spreads truth. That's my goal. Hold yourself accountable.
All right. So then our last term that we have in the title is blood guiltiness. And so it's found in the Bible in a number of different places. I think the most important one for us to check out is Psalms 51, which has to do with David. And a Psalm of David. So this has to do with David praying for the washing away of all my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin, for I know my transgressions and my sin is always before me. Against you, you only, I have sinned and done what is evil in your sight. So you are right in your verdict and justified when you judge. So David goes on to plea, and then we get down to verse 14, where he asks, deliver me from the guilt of bloodshed, O Yahawah, you who are Elohim, my Savior, and my tongue will sing your righteousness. So if people understand the context of this, David had transgressed where he plotted to have the husband of Bathsheba put on the front lines so that he could be killed. So in David's case, there was blood shed. The husband of Bathsheba was killed through his plan, and so there was blood spilled. But at the same time, it wasn't David that actually did the bloodshedding in this instance. So there's through this verse and through Ezekiel 33 with the watchman, you can clearly see that there's accountability, right, that gets put on righteous people, that when you transgress, you can have blood guilt. So, and then the parable of the good and wicked servants, right, the 3 servants there was the one that did the most, and then there's the one that did nothing, and he was told that he was wicked. So this whole topic of blood guilt, once you learn the truth, once you know it, if you're standing on any of the 6 fundamental truths and you're not sharing them, this is a situation that you could find yourself in where you would actually have blood guilt. And that's a serious thing. It's a real serious thing. So this is one of the things that Ronnie and I work diligently to do, is continually put this out there, put the accountability out on everyone else, so that through this we can all, for one, what's our goal? What is our goal? We want to share the truth about Yahawahashai's millennial reign. We want to tell them how you can get into that kingdom. We want to tell you how you can make it through the end of this world. Right? If we don't do those things, then we are worried that we would actually be in a blood guilt position.
That's right. So, just to add on there to the scripture you have up here, right? So what we get is long before Yahawahashai, we get the word deliverer, right? So this is what Yahawahashai means, deliverance. Deliver me from the guilt of bloodshed, O Yahawah, you who are my Elohim and my Savior. So now we get Yahawahashai brought into this scripture, right? And my tongue will sing of your righteousness. Open my lips, Lord, and my mouth will declare your praise, right? He's begging the Father to forgive him. This is about a heart condition, because the bloodshed that he killed Goliath. He was a warrior. He killed many men on the battlefield. But when he sent the man to die because he had lust and love for the woman, he then had blood guilt. He wasn't begging for the killing of Goliath. Maybe all of that is accounted for, but it was about a heart condition. And then it comes on, my sacrifice, O Yahawah, is a broken spirit, right? We constantly tell people your heart's condition is the most important thing, right? And it's just, people really need to understand that, David was forgiven, right? And you too can be, okay? If you ask for the same thing. David was just showing us the way here.
Yeah, so team goals here, everybody. David says here in 18, may it please you to prosper Zion, to build up the walls of Jerusalem. Then you will delight in the sacrifices of the righteous, and burnt offerings offered whole. Then bulls will be offered on your altar. So, prospering the kingdom, we can say, right? Prospering the kingdom. What can we do to help prosper the kingdom? That's my goal. So when the question is asked in the title here, what is your goal? My goal is to help prosper the kingdom. And then the answer to how am I going to achieve that? It's going to be through a dogmatic triggering of people and bringing them to accountability so that they can abstain from the blood guilt that they would have been participating in. So that is my strategy, and I'll take that strategy forward.
Mm-hmm. Can I get you to scroll up a little bit?
Yeah.
So right here in verse 12, it says, restore to me the joy of your salvation and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me. Give me everlasting life, he's asking for. Then he goes on in 13 here. Remember, he's crying out for his blood guilt. Then I will teach transgressors your ways, so that the sinners will turn back to you. Like, if you guys don't understand what David was praying for here, you really need to listen to what the scriptures say. Read it again, please, starting at verse 12.
Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me. Then I will teach transgressors your ways, so that sinners will turn back to you.
So right there, that absolutely is the path of Yahawahashai. That was his role. That's what he came here to do. And it wasn't about any race or color or any religion. It was simply the people that were wicked. He came here to make them righteous, to give them a heart, to share. And he begged for this. Now, did David accomplish this, Jason?
Well,
that was son of David.
To a degree. To a degree, he did, but not completely.
Well, if we look into the scriptures, it was the son of David, Yahawahashai. He came and taught the transgressors the ways, and then he turned the sinners back to the Father. He literally, him and John the Baptist, the two of them, the two witnesses to this truth. First John came and said, repent of your ways, right? Be baptized through water and turn away from your sins, right? And then the other one came and said, now I baptize you with with the Holy Spirit, with the everlasting, spirit of the living Father. It moves through you. And then you turn back from your ways. You become a righteous person. So David was the first one to really
go into the salvation path.
Yeah.
Right? Salvation. He was saying Yahawahashai, Yahawahashai, Yahawahashai. He just kept saying it here in this passage. And I don't think people understand, but that's what the word salvation or deliverance. They're both different words for the same meaning, the same name, right? The name above the Christ is he exists, salvation. So the salvation part is the part where it says Yahawahashai, is the shy part. Yahawah is he is that existence or is existence. It's the salvation. That's what the name means. That's why knowing the Christ's true name is super, super imperative, because it literally means your salvation. Now, are we saved yet, Jason? No. We're not in the kingdom. I don't have an impervious body. I can't walk through walls. Like the sun still burns me. I can't do all these, millennial, the next 1,000 years, we don't get tired. We don't get sad. We don't get sick. We don't even need to eat.
No more pain or suffering.
No pain or suffering. Like if anyone's telling you they're saved, if they have these bodies, they're saved. Right? Until then, we got to fight for the truth. And the other main thing that I wanted to get into with this rant is to let people know that, we're not supposed to skip out of here. Oh, we don't want to go through the trial and tribulation. Like, excuse me, the entire reason we're here is to experience the trials and the tribulations. Like, look what happened, right, to Jonah. He gets swallowed up and half decomposed and then spit out of a whale and lived and walked through a town because he ran from his obligations, right? That you need to be accountable. You need to understand why you're here, and you're here to spread the truth. Fight for the truth. Yahawahashai said, I am the truth. I am the way, right? Do the things that I do and you will have the truth too. The Father literally is all things that true, all things that's righteous, all good deeds. They all come from the living spirit of the Father. So you need to be doing these things and turning from your ways, right? And again, we're not speaking to the people that are righteous right now. These are people that are doing things that are wicked, right? We do them too. We're not perfect. But if you have a heart that wants to be better, if you wake up in the morning and you want to do more, you want to write more articles, post more videos, you want to just fight for more every day, you want to get in shape more, you want to be healthier, if you always have a passion and a drive to be more, then you're on the right path already. We're not even speaking to you. We're speaking to the people that are stuck in their beds, that are stuck watching Netflix, that are stuck doing things that just don't help the kingdom. These things that are just wicked, that we all go through those periods in our lives. We're talking to those people. Right? Everybody else, you guys are all doing these things. You're doing your best, the best that you can. Jason's definitely brought up cases tonight for holding everybody super accountable. Right? So with accountability comes rewards. Right? With much accountability, much rewards will be given. Right? And we want everybody to have all the rewards that there's there. We're not trying to cheat the game to hide things from you. We want you to have everything we have. That's what a true team is. And we just hope that you guys are willing to, just try to be better. Just at the least, you don't have to read all these scriptures. It's so simple. The two commandments that all of the laws hang upon is loving the Creator, the Father, the most, with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind, all the time. You say the Father's prayer in the morning before you get out of bed, or however you love Him, you just love the Creator, right? You love Him first. And then the person next door to you, the person beside you, that you come across in this world, do good unto them. Do good unto them. And everything else is just circumstantial things that just cause different algorithms to go up and down in a scale. The most important thing is that you love the Creator and you love the person next to you. And you do good to them. You don't use them. You don't take advantage of anyone. And then when we talk about fighting for truth, we're now into the positive riches category. So, I like to liken this unto a parable where if you do something bad, if you rip someone off, if you scream and yell, if you get abusive, you take a shovel full of dirt, you dig a little hole, and then soon enough, that hole is super deep. And when you do something righteous, when you lift someone up, when you fight for truth, you get a timestamp, let's say you're in this infinite slingshot. Every time you do something good, it cranks it a little tighter. And the goal of the game is to get as far up into the sky as you can. So every time you do something righteous, you crank that, come along, clunk, clunk, that elastic band is getting super tight because all you want to do is just fight for truth, love people in your way, not like me, not like Jay, just the way that the Father works through you. And then finally, you're going to get launched into the highest of the heavens. You'll get to see everything up there. That is the goal. I'll be right back.
Oh, I was just going to say, do you want to take the screen share?
Just a minute.
Okay. Yeah, so that was sort of our rant for the night, where we wanted to get that out, get it off our chest. A lot of people trying to suggest that Ronnie and I are being egotistical or narcissistic. We stand by our timestamps, and that's that. They speak for themselves. We don't need to say anything else. We were the first to call out the mark of the wild animal on YouTube, and I haven't found on the internet, just the internet in general outside of YouTube, an earlier timestamp either. So we do these things because we're trying to give people as much warning up front as possible. We're trying to be on the cutting edge of things as it's coming out. Put it all in context, in the correct paradigm of reality, because right now so many people are coming from a distorted paradigm of reality that they can't even make sense of the truth anymore. When you think that you're spinning and flipping around and flying all over the place, you get a little disoriented. And so we're passionate about this. We'll fight for this. We'll be the best weapon that you can ever use, if as far as coming against people that are promoting things contrary to the 6 fundamental truths. And that list is just going to continue to grow. We've already got strong candidates for truth number 7, truth number 8. These are things that continue to separate us from the world. These are the so-called conspiracies, but they're not. They're actual truths. I hope it hasn't been too bitter of a pill for people tonight. We're trying to raise you up, but sometimes to do that, we got to trigger you too.
Yeah, I'm glad you're holding yourself accountable for all your actions and for mine too. I stand with you as a witness to everything that you said. And the other thing I wanted to know is, do we have any background music that's not like scriptural kind? Like maybe like a side chill type thing that you could throw on in the background?
Not really.
What? You want me to find your link? Yeah, well, we're just chatting. You have the thumbnail up?
No, I thought you were going to take the screen share now.
Yeah, I'm just about to.
Okay.
You don't want like a background music? It might make it more exciting. I guess you don't want to play it from anything outside of the OBS.
I don't like to, but I can try it.
Okay, here, I'll send you a link. I don't know. We'll see if we get lucky. So how's everybody doing? We don't have to talk about any more accountability for the night, but I will let you know that I'm holding myself accountable. If you guys don't enjoy the meme section of the podcast, I'm going to have to do a better job if I don't do it right. How about that?
There's no link with what you sent me.
What?
Oh.
Unbelievable. Let's see. Where's the sound technician when we need him, right?
Yeah, it just says 133.55 now playing. Watch later, add to queue.
I'll find something really quick. But yeah, so is there any other topics, any other points that you wanted to make about, blood guilt, accountability, egotism versus
No, I think we banged it pretty good. I want to hit memes of the week.
Well, hold on, we're not quite ready, right? We got an intro for this section, don't we?
Yeah.
Here, I'll send you this link. Let's see if this works. Sorry, everybody. We're not, like I said, we're just a couple carpenters that this is what we love to do. We're not perfect.
Plus, none of this is planned. We had no idea.
Let's see if that works.
Oh. All right, so this is sharing already. Why don't you go ahead and get a screen share set up?
Okay. So, I guess one of the first things that we could do is there's this funny TikTok video. I don't want that link. Am I screen sharing?
Yeah, you are up now. And
okay.
I'm going to hit some background music here. You're gonna have to let me know where the audio's level's good.
Okay. This is pretty funny. So I don't know if everybody knows. I grew up in a dealership family. We had a Cadillac Chevrolet dealership, and we also drag raced. My dad's a big drag race enthusiast. So was my mom. She actually sold high performance parts for Crowder and Manley. I took a supercharger to a auto shop class. So she sent me this, and I thought it was pretty funny because I think we've all been in this situation before. Let's check this out.
I accidentally put my car in neutral and revved the engine, and then the guy next to me revved his engine, and I'm like, fuck, I got a street race.
Right? I don't know if anybody's not done that. Or you just like, if you have a standard, you definitely have. Someone trying to call me on Facebook. Wow. I don't really talk to too many people on there. But so I don't know if you want to play the intro part.
Yeah, I don't know that this audio is coming through from what you sent me. I was trying that, but let's start memes of the week.
And now, the wait is over. It's time for Memes of the Week. Sponsored by Aluminum Foil.
All
right. Memes of the week, right? Brought to you by Aluminum Foil. So am I live?
Yeah.
So this one here is funny. This one says real gardeners buy at least 10,000 plants in the course of a lifetime without having the least idea of where they'll put any of them when they get home. I don't know. This reminds me of my mom's mom, my nan. She was the super scriptural one with the fear of Yahawahashai into everybody. She would buy so many plants. We would go to town. She would just buy all these plants. And then we'd get home and she'd be like, geez, I don't even know where to put these. Right. So I'd usually help her and come up with an idea. But that's a funny meme to start the week. It's just going to have it on every page. I rarely get people to call me, and someone by accidentally apparently called me before the podcast. Let me see here if I can fix this. But are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you like that analogy?
I was trying to resize things, and now you're not sharing anything now. I was just trying to get things to share.
Okay. Yeah, I'm cleaning it up too. I don't know why I have all these links on my Facebook. That's the other problem with sharing stuff from this platform. If anybody sends me a message right now, it's going to show up on the screen. If you try to call me, it's going to come through on the screen. I don't have any of that disabled. I don't really care. Like Jason and I really don't have anything to hide. We're pretty open books. I don't know if you guys on the other side of the screen are like that. I would say you shouldn't really have too much to hide. But I mean, everybody does have a private life. You don't have to share everything with the world. But wow, I can't believe how many of these. How many? Just one. Only one meme this week's covered out of all of the memes. Usually, what happens is that the censors will say that this is false information, and then they'll hide the meme that you guys share.
You're not sharing anything, though, brother.
Yeah, not yet.
No,
I'm almost done.
Okay.
There's all these different tabs opened up with all these different notifications right now that I'm trying to close. Crazy. Usually people call me. I'll get a few different calls from people. I don't know why. They only call when we're live, though. But it's fine. That's part of just getting things done. Sorry, everybody. This probably won't happen next time. I'll figure another way to do this. So we'll get back into the memes of the week. And so a few other people have put up some memes this week that I'm going to share, and I'll continue to do that as we go. Let me get the screen share back up. And so the sound didn't come through before?
Not while you have the screen share. When I play the video, it wasn't coming through.
Okay. So I think the memes are coming through now, right?
Yeah.
This one's an interesting meme of the week because I myself do a lot of physical exercise, and this stretch here where you just try to bend over and put your arms behind your legs This stretch here of the hips, the hamstrings, the calves, it strengthens the thighs and the knees, and it keeps your spine strong and flexible. It reduces stress, anxiety, depression, and fatigue, calms the mind, and soothes the nerves, relieves tension in the spine, neck, back, and activates the abdominal muscles. So, I mean, I do this stretch. So this was a good meme. I don't always think that memes should be like, fight the New World Order and all this and that. Like 9/11 was an inside job. It should also be about healing and health. These are important factors for memes of the week. This one here is something that I'm subject to. This one here is what we learned, that before you're born, Jeremiah 1-5 tells you the Creator knew you. He formed you in the womb. He knew him before that. So, I've actually have this guilt on me. I was with a woman that we didn't have the baby, and I was with another woman, and it was a miscarriage, and the baby died that way. So I have this blood guilt on me. And when I found this scripture, it really drove home. And I've done things to ask for forgiveness for my wicked ways. Now that I understand the way that the Creator had set this up, that each child that's born into the realm actually has a purpose, and sometimes it's outside of the purpose that the parents have for that child, right? And we should never do this. This is a fallen angel thing. And that was a deep meme. I don't know if you want to comment on it, Jason, before I move on.
Yeah, it's heartfelt confession. One of the best ways when we're afflicted by a certain sin is to actually confess it, to actually let people know what it is that we did wrong and where our heart condition is now, because through that act of confession, through the repentance, what we do is we break down ego, we learn humility, and we gain accountability by sharing it with others. So a common theme coming through tonight.
Yeah, you're not alone. I feel this pain. I've repented of it. I've asked for forgiveness. I feel it. You're not alone. So this next one here was Powerland, who came out, I think in like 2008 or 9. And he was the one who brought up the different pictures of the different globe Earths, ball Earths from the different space agencies. You got the Russia one, the United States, Japanese one, and the European one. And like none of the continents match, none of the colors match. Their renderings are just totally different. Like this is clown world if you believe you live on a spinning sphere. Right, Jason?
I'm sorry, I was just started looking at the chat.
It's just clown world. The different spheres that the different space agencies try to tell you is where you live, right? You see the different colors and the artist renditions, and it's just nonsense.
Every single time we see the globe, I mean, if you look at, what's his name? The Mark Passio, right? We were just talking about him. He's got a picture of the globe Earth. You look at it, you can just see that is CGI. It's cartoon. They don't have real pictures of it. You look at all these different newscasts where they got some spinning globe up there. You can clearly see that it's just a cartoon ball spinning around and that it's not a real image. None of these are real. They're just stupid CGI.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? It's a good meme. Look, people. Anyone that believes they live on a spinning sphere, you got to ask yourself, why are they showing you paintings for their proof? So then we got onto this one. This one, the sun is not 93 million miles away, right? The earth is flat. So, you can see the rays projecting from the streetlight under the tree. You can deduce and measure and observe that that's where the light is, right? Same too when we look at crepuscular rays, right? And guess what, people? They come underneath the clouds and shine the light rays up. The sun comes through these clouds. We filmed it over and over again. I don't know if Jason, you want to add to this topic?
Yeah, well, remember it can go the other way as well. All right, so the sun can be below the clouds and those rays can be shooting upwards. One of the other things that we've shown is those things that people call chemtrails. We've shown that chemtrails are demonic. They can be prayed away, but there are times when the plane flies above the sun and it's actually casting a shadow up on the bottom side of the clouds. We've got many different footage of this. We have the light rays shooting up through the clouds. So it goes both ways. The sun can be below the main bank of clouds, and the rays can be shooting up as well, which shows that the sun does go lower than the clouds, which a lot of fake flat earthers and heliocentrists are all going to deny.
True. Well, that's great. This is a good meme. Good meme. This one says, this one's coming in from YD. The difference between humans and animals would never allow the dumbest of the herd to lead them. Yet we can look at modern day politics and we can see that some of the people that are up there are not that bright. They're not that bright, people. You can tell in the way they talk and the things that they say.
Are you talking about Biden?
I'm talking about all of them.
All of them.
The Pope, too. We'll get to the Pope, too. Don't you guys worry. Jason, do you have anything to add to this one? It's pretty self-explanatory, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know, the idea that you would ever elect a president of a country that wasn't specifically schooled in the art of leadership, like you're gonna bring in an actor like Ronald Reagan, you bring in Donald Trump, you know, reality TV show star. You know, like, this is the type of thing that a person should have studied their entire lives for, as far as leadership and diplomacy and strategy and economics and all that kind of stuff. Yet they just pick political characters that have no education in how to run anything. Trump, how many times did he have to be bailed out? How many billions?
Lots. Wilbur Ross, the Rothschild family, bailed him out.
Yeah.
Trump paid off his debts.
Can't even run a company, and now he's supposed to run a country?
I know, but they did the Analytica thing and got all the buzz tags, mind controlled the crap out of people.
Yeah.
But yes, I'll continue here. So this one's about pineapples. Did you know when you drink pineapple juice, you help dissolve mucus in the lungs? Pineapple juice is a great cough suppressant because it contains an enzyme known as bromolamine, which has a strong anti-inflammatory benefit. So that's interesting. You know, I've heard lots of different talks about pineapples are good for this and that. I'm sure everybody on the other side of the screen knows what I'm talking about. But this one says it helps with mucus and coughing and stuff. So that's interesting. I did not know that. Next time I have a cough, I'm going to try to get me some pineapple juice. Jason, what say you?
I love me some pineapple. I don't eat a ton of fruit, but it's one of the sweet ones that I do enjoy.
Mm-hmm. It's good, right?
Yeah.
I like pineapple. I love pineapple. So I'll keep going. We got some more here. This one here is interesting. So this one says oil does not come from fossils nor from decomposing matter. So Rockefeller coined the term fossil fuels, inducing the idea of a scarcity to increase profit margins. The reality being is that oil is actually a mineral of the earth constantly being regenerated, right? So this one here, I know Jason's definitely going to have some kind of simulation realization moment with this, but I just like people to understand, yes, I do believe when we burn matter, we can actually heat it up and make a type of oil substance. But what we're discussing here is the stuff that comes up out of the earth, right? Jason, did you want to comment on this meme?
Yeah, so this is one of the things that I had to learn about in the last number of years here, that it even became known that the Texas wells that had gone dry, like wells that were dug 30, 40 years ago and they had pumped them dry, what happened is that, guess what? They're full again. All right, so what's taking place with oil is probably best described as a major composting pile, where the water that drips down through earth and goes through the different layers, eventually it becomes this sludge in certain areas that they call fossil fuel, but it's just full of hydrocarbons. It's decaying matter, and then they put it through a bunch of refining processes, and so they can make gasoline with it. But you can make gasoline with corn husks. So it's just a form of ethanol. There's just a whole bunch of syrup in that black goo that they end up using for plastics, that they end up using for a whole bunch of stuff. It's just one of the natural processes of Earth. The Creator made this place where
oil comes up.
Yeah, the black goo. But
I'll take it where I thought you were going to take it.
okay.
So in a simulation, you just have a spot on the map. Okay, we're in a 3D world. We can zoom into the earth. We can zoom in under the ground. We just put a faucet there and we say produce oil. And that thing oil just pumps out of it. They're at the bottom of the sea. There's a bunch of spots where we can find this. They just pump out oil and they just keep going. Just continues to recycle over and over again. And this is the lie that they came up with to make the big oil, the black goo economy. We're in the downfall of it now. And they've suppressed all the free energy, all the clean technology, like burning water. Water is fuel, right? Water. And the planes fly mostly on compressed air. Right? Barely any fuel, if any at all. We've already explained all that to people. And they just give us a crap. Even the technology that they do give us that they tell us is good, it's garbage. Like the Tesla, it's a joke, right? It doesn't even charge itself. All you need to put is alternators and coils in the tires and brakes, and you can continue to charge it so you don't actually have to plug it in every 200 miles or whatever the limit that they'll let you drive. This is the problem with the clean technology. Solar panels are junk. They're it's in the 90s of just wasted energy. But you can take an LCD screen and you can absolutely start to make your own types of energy. But you're not going to learn that from anyone in the science because it's not peer reviewed, right? So there's all these different things that are being suppressed because of the big oil, the big money. And we're in Texas, and I'm sure they don't like hearing me say it. They all know that you can burn this water. You can burn water as fuel, and it's the byproduct of it is pure oxygen. It comes out clean. You refine the air.
Well, the byproduct of
the water.
Yeah. So when you separate water into the hydrogen and oxygen and then combust it, you're actually doing fusion. You're actually taking the hydrogen and oxygen. When it combusts, it's an implosion, and you create water, pure water. Absolutely 100% pure. There can't be any impurity in it. You're just taking hydrogen, oxygen, all of a sudden, boom, it comes back. It's water. It's the hottest burning gas. It's the fastest burning gas. It's got all these incredible properties. And so water, all of it, so you got all this water on Earth. 2 parts of it are hydrogen. 1 part of it is oxygen. That's a lot of fuel. And then when you combust it, it becomes water, pure water. Come on, why are we burning petroleum? It's combustion engines where they're explosive, where you burn something and it explodes outward. That's dangerous. An implosion, if you had a hydrogen engine, if it were to fail, the engine would crimple in on itself. It wouldn't explode outwards. There might be some sort of
implosion, not explosion.
Yeah. There might be some sort of recursive shock to it that could be dangerous, but surely you could engineer that type of danger out of the engine.
Yeah, simply. So let's keep going here. This one here was just a nice meme. It says the rule is you have to dance a little bit in the morning before you leave the house because it changes the way you walk out in the world. And, when I'm at the gym working out, I dance around. I got my jungle music on, kind of like that dance video that I played. I actually dance kind of like that, everybody. I'm sorry, it's true. I used to be a junglist. I just smoked weed and DJ'd. So I, just used to go and dance like that, just like that. And it is true. When you get loose and dance and it brings joy to you, right? This is something that we're supposed to do in a worship type thing, right? You're supposed to sing and dance and you're supposed to be happy. You're created to be that. This is just, a little bit of encouragement. If you don't believe me, if you're in a bad mood, put on a song, put on some headphones and dance a little bit. And then tell me how you feel afterwards. Jason, I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Dance just a little bit.
So here we go. We'll get into some more of a truth type memes. Check this out. It says, always right in your face, Amazon or Amazon. And you look at Amazon and you look at the logo, it's a devil's tail. Look at that. An adversarial's tail, it says, phallic symbol 2. What do you think, Jay?
Oh, I hadn't heard this yet, but of course I know there had to have been some demonic connection to Amazon. But yeah, Mason.
I got you.
Yeah, there you go.
I got you, bro.
Nope.
I got you. This one, you're ready. You weren't ready for it, huh?
I wasn't ready.
Wait. Let's keep going here. This one here. Yeah, we got rid of the Nazis, they said, huh? Werner von Braun, head of NASA. Walter Hallstein, head of the commission. Adolf Heisinger, NATO's chief of staff, and Kurt Waldenheim, the Secretary General of the United Nations. So anyone that wants to tell me that the United States wasn't on the same team, is on the same team, is on the same team, you're all fooled. You're all following a BS history. Stand now with me and Jason dogmatically against this nonsense. They're always been the same team. Even if they try to pull the Ukraine-Russia thing coming up, they're on the same team. Everybody, it
took all the Nazi leaders and brought them over here and gave them positions of authority in the United States. That's
high positions.
Yeah.
So people need to recognize what's up. Let's keep this going. This one was just a funny one. It says, come on, guys. I'm just like you. Stop playing around, said the lonely Corona. I think you have been watching too much TV. You see that? Everybody see this one? It's just a simple picture. They're all masked up, huh? What do you think of that one, Jason?
Yeah, well, it's weird. I like both beers. I haven't had a Heineken in a long time. They're both skunky beers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Corona is definitely overstanding that group of Heinekens hiding out with their mask.
You put a chunk of lemon or a chunk of lime in here, and then you just push it in with your thumb and flip it upside down and back again. It's a decent beer. Again, I want everyone to know on the other side of the screen, I'm not advocating drinking. Okay, I rarely drink, and when I do, my life crashes into the ground. So I do not recommend that anybody drinks. I support marijuana a lot more over drinks, but if you are someone that can not do wicked things and you have beer, sometimes it's used as a medicine. I don't want to exclude you guys, right? I just let you guys know on the screen I'm not a big drinker. Never have been, really. So I'd rather smoke some weed and go with the island vibes, right? Jason, I'm going to move on.
Island vibes.
I like the island vibes. It'd be hard not to drink on an island, though, I tell you. But I mean, I don't want my life to crash into the ground. This one's coming from YD's channel again. This one's pretty funny. It says, we did this. Vaccine mandates for truck drivers. You got everything empty and these two doorknobs standing up here, huh?
Oh, that hits a little close to home. So, yeah, with what's going on in the world right now, if the truck drivers are being blocked from being able to go to work and do their thing, that's going to create massive hardship. That's going to create a supply chain catastrophe that's going to affect everyone.
Yeah, it's tough, but I stand with them.
Yeah.
Right. People, you need to figure out ways to eat less, or come up with a plan, soups and stuff. You just think smart. Okay. Just think smart, stock up on the things, baby wipes and stuff like that. If toilet paper runs out, there's always different options for people. Okay. You just got to have a good mind, be prepared, watch your stores, don't go crazy. But yeah, that's a really funny meme coming from YD's channel. So this one here says, when the truth comes out, do not ask me and Jason and the rest of the team why you didn't know or how we knew. Ask yourself why you didn't know. Right? This is going to happen because the foundational truths that we stand upon are not debunked. And if someone can bring contrary evidence to what we say, we stand with them. We're like, high five. Yeah. Thank you. We want to be corrected in everything we do. Right? It's a challenge that we give out openly.
It's the reason
Jason?
why we changed the pronunciations that we're using for the true names.
Yeah, we corrected it. Could there be anything more important to show that we're willing to be corrected?
No, it's pretty high level.
Pretty high level. I'll keep this going here. We got this one here. This one says, the time will soon come when every single person who has been silent will be forced to do one of two things. Get loud and resist, or stay silent and comply. We're headed there. If anyone doesn't see what's going on right now in the world, you are blind. I don't know. Maybe you work 2 jobs 7 days a week. And you don't have any idea what's going on. But everybody else sees exactly where we're headed. To get into the Olympics now, you have to do anal swabs just to watch. Where are we headed here? Where are we headed? Jason?
Yeah, I just saw that, and
we'll get to
it. It's coming up, huh?
Yeah, it's in the repertoire. It's crazy, right? Oh, here we go. Now we've reached the part of the stream where I show you guys censorship. And apparently everywhere on Twitter and so many places, Instagram, they just cover the meme. Look at what's being covered here. The further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those that speak it. And then it's accredited to George Orwell. And then they covered it because they said, no, it's not George Orwell. See why? Let's look. George Orwell's and Past Letter. It's French, right? It's and sometimes when they teach us this, it's in like Spanish or African or Greek, misattributed to George Orwell about society drifting from the truth continues to circulate online. So I don't know if anyone's read the book. I watched the movie. I didn't read the book, I'll admit. Is this quote in the book? Anyone can figure that out, and that is that a lie, you know? So, but again, the further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those that speak it. I want everyone to understand, do you think this is true?
Yeah, it's a true statement. True statement, for sure. Who
it.
it's attributed to, it doesn't matter. It's still a true statement.
They cover it, huh? Nope. Can't show that to people. You got to click on something to see that. You got to willingly give your, I want the truth. Someone's got to click on that. This one here says, it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken one. Change his mind. Frederick Douglass. What do you say, Jay?
Yeah, so many people talk about if you give me the youth for a certain amount of time, then you're basically going to have their minds. So if you start with the youth, it's one of those like tree planting type things. If you start with the youth, then eventually you're going to have a bunch of good people if you're doing a good thing, or you're going to have a bunch of bad people if you're doing a bad thing. So start with the youth, do it right, and then you won't have to repair broken men. It's common sense, right?
Yeah, raise your children up in the righteous ways to be accountable and honest men. You know, do what they say they're going to do. It's easier to do that than to take one that's been raised wrong and correct their ways. You're going to have to do a lot more fighting and struggling. So that's a good meme. And this one, coming off Breitbart, says triple vaccinated Vatican chiefs test positive for coronavirus. The Vatican's Secretary of State and his deputy have both tested positive for the coronavirus. Reports Vatican journalist also the coronavirus. So what I put in this is, whoa, that's a lot of positive going on, huh? I wonder if we had a debate about the scriptures, me and the Pope, who would win? So I just want to point out that I'm, openly on the air here calling out the Pope, this guy here, the Vatican Pope. I don't believe he actually loves the word and can defend the books that he carries around and professes to be the vicar of Christ. He's supposed to be the representative that we need to go to talk to Christ, this man. So I challenge him openly right now with Jason. You can have your entire clergy. You can have all the Vatican priests from the entire flat earth against Jason and I in a debate about the true veracity of the scriptures, the path of salvation, the true names of the Creator and the Christ, all of it. We challenge you, Pope.
The Trinity, all of it. The books that you had taken out of it. So the Pope, I'm guessing he's probably more busy dealing with sexual abuse cases and all that kind of stuff. We could throw down against somebody like the Pope and all the clergy from the Vatican, every single, what do they call, cardinals, you name it. We could throw down against all these people. They don't even know the scriptures. They don't. They're freaking morons. They're just evil people bent on doing evil things. Just wait. When the Great Tribulation starts, Babylon the Great gets destroyed. And what that tells me is that the Vatican is going to be wiped out. It's going to be utterly annihilated from the world. Then a whole bunch of people are going to be sitting around going, oh, wow, that was a great city. I can't believe it got destroyed. And yeah, it's going to be like that. It's just going to be obliterated from Earth.
Yeah, volcanoes, earthquakes, tons of disaster. Oh, we already got that one. Here's one that I was a memory from a year ago. This was a meme that Jason made, right? You put this together for me, remember?
Yeah.
It was woke with the Q in there. It's got the Limitless Channel and Awake Souls. It says, hey, Q-turds, how do them pissed on breadcrumbs taste? So, again, we were constantly calling out the QAnon people as following false disinformation, becoming weapons of the enemy because they were filled with half-truths, and the father of the Jabola is Trump himself. So we've been telling people for a long time, and then, it came down to it. Mike Pence had the deciding vote whether to recount the different states. He didn't want to stand. He thought that there was something wrong there, and he chose not to, right? And that was exactly what QAnon said wasn't going to happen, right? And then you even have people like Michael Flynn, I think, the general, now disavowing the QAnon movement. And these are the reasons why we don't like to mess around with people, because we see they're flip-floppers. They go where the money is. They do what they're told. You want someone that tells you the truth regardless of anything else. They just tell you the truth. Here's another one from the YD channel. Go ahead.
I just want to let you know that in the chat we have YD saying to Christina Cruz, I'm trying to get the attention of the Limitless Channel or Awake Souls to give you a minute at the end to share. So I haven't quite figured out what that means yet, but we will figure it out.
Okay. This one says, wake up before it's too late. China Pet, watch, or Chia, right? Chia. Is this a Mandela? Manduzel? China? I thought it was Chia. Chia, CIA. But I'm bad with spelling. But it says, watch as it grows into a dictator. You got Justin Trudeau's face. Right? Fun for the whole family. No freedom, no rights, no future. Chia Pet, right? Am I wrong? Is that a Manduzel?
Well, I think it's probably a meme mockery. China Pet as opposed to Chia Pet.
I get it. Yeah, you overstood me. It's China Pet, not Chia. That's good. That's clever, right? Ooh. No, I was fooled. You guys see? Do you want to say anything else about this one? Great job, YD. Sorry, I think I'm too loud here. This one here says, yeah, it's true. I'm here today because I'm addicted to violating the Facebook community standards. It's true, people. The standards are you're not allowed to speak truth. So I'm just thankful that I'm able to continue to post truth on there and call it all out. So be smart, be as wise as a serpent, yet gentle as a dove, right? Jason, do you have anything to say about this? You know I'm a violator of the Facebook community standards, and I do have a problem with it.
I might be worse than you. They just straight kick me off of there. Like you, all they do is put you in jail once in a while.
I think my hair looks funny here on the side. I gotta fix that. So we'll get on to this one. This one's hilarious. I think the NPCs glitch TF out on this one. The even funnier part is it's true. It says, I'm not that smart, Jenny. It says, but shouldn't the cases go down as the jabolas go up? Right? And when we look into the evidence of it, now it's opposite of that. This is what's causing the pandemic. This one's great. This is a good meme, well put together. It's true. And glitches NPCs out. If you go on TikTok and you bring up these statistics, you just see people just frazzle. They go crazy. Jason?
Yeah, it's the curves should be going the other way, but here we are. We get into the situation where all this science is being delivered to people, and it's really making their health decline badly, or they die. That's happening too.
True. And then we get on to this one. Oh, here we go. This is a TikTok that was made about me. Is my sound now working? So this chick puts her leg up on the counter, all gross like.
Here are the reasons why I will never debate you, nor should anyone. Here are the reasons why I will never debate you, nor should anyone else.
So this is a TikTok video made to a comment I made. I said, here, Miss Science, let's have a debate, me and you. Let's see who knows the truth and who spouts lies like a lawn sprinkler. So she got triggered by that. Here's the video.
You are.
So she won't debate me.
Not a scientist or an
So she's appealing to authority.
expert.
I'm not a scientist or an expert, so I can't therefore know truth.
You are not writing peer-reviewed articles.
So the other scientists that are being paid aren't agreeing with me and what I'm saying. So therefore, it's not true. That's her appeal to authority.
Own trials. Your sources actually come from, what was it? Awake Souls on.
Yes, it absolutely comes from the Awake Souls channel.
Whoa!
So here, you guys, here's a little tip. If you find a shill, use the shill, right? Anytime someone says your name or they put you up on the screen like that, the Limitless 888s, right? You can find me through that search. If you search Google, Limitless 888s, it's my birthday, 8880. You're using a shill. They're promoting you now. And she's all, my video was viral and all this and that. But now you got a video where you're actually sharing Jason and I's names and channels. So good job, Jason.
I heard my channel name. I love it.
I'll play it again. Here.
Your sources actually come from, what was it? Awake Souls on YouTube. Basically, all you're doing is Googling shit that confirms what you believe.
No, that's what you do, miss. We actually go out and observe and test and repeat things.
Yeah, I'll toss the challenge out to her. Let's debate this. Let's go tit for tat, data point for data point. We'll find out what we can trust as observably true, what is fact, what is fiction, and we'll go through it and we'll see which one stands on more truth. Let's test it out.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Which, this was inspired by a fairly viral TikTok, but it
Fairly
rings pretty
viral
true.
TikTok, eh? Fairly viral. Oh, that's good. So people saw my messages. Excellent.
Okay. How did you deserve your pine cone, mate?
She just called me a pine cone.
Bye.
I don't even know. She's an order follower. She's a cop, right? So, she's just gross, but she made it into the week because she sent the Awake Souls channel. That was hilarious. This is another one from the YD channel. This is why and how much a cheeseburger is going to be if we don't fix this problem. They got blackface Justin Trudeau. So, there was all the Republicans there. Boom, kicked off. There's your queen. Not queen, but queen. So he's got the blackface here. No ramifications, no disciplinary actions. The libtards, people, if you don't realize that it's all being played against you with the all mocking tongue, satanic face and everything, painted black, a culture appropriating, and a turban, right? This is your prime minister, people. I don't think I have to say any more. Jason?
No, I don't think there's much more to say on that.
Yeah, we could go more on this guy, but we'll just keep it moving here. We're getting through these. Did you know if you search the Illuminati backwards and add .com in a search browser, it leads you to the official website of the NSA? And absolutely, this is true. People did it and verified it. It's not the first time I've done it. And it does actually take you to the NSA. Jason, what do you think?
Yeah, it's one of those tidbits of truth that gives you a little clue as to the context of this world. Illuminati backwards, add.com, and you end up at the NSA. Yeah, testable, verifiable, repeatable, and very disconcerting.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious now. They don't even hide what they're doing at all, right? Here's the one here. This one here says, bomb deal. China brings back anal swab testing for COVID in world's most brutal lockdown 2 weeks before the Winter Olympics begin. You send me this link. It's got someone doing an anal swab on the picture, the Beijing 2022 Olympics, and some kid or person getting their mouth swabbed by this thing. Jason, what is this world?
That headline was on Drudge as well. This was like a high level headline. That the anal swabs are coming for the Olympics. Now, they're saying that they're not going to have spectators, but I guess the people that do go are going to be expected to be swabbed
daily
down there.
So the bum deal is if you want to participate in society, you got to anal swab your day every day to participate in society. Welcome to the debaucherous Sodom and Gomorrah future that the New World Clown Order wants for you.
Oh, man.
I'll move on here. This one says, get this, Omicron, and have a mild cold, or get, 3 Jabolas, triple, quadruple this up on your face, lock yourself in your house, and then you're still going to get it. You're going to, when the weather changes, your body's going to go through changes too. You can't get away from it. So which side do you guys want to take? You want to take the red side or the blue side, right? And also, there's a totally other path off of having faith in the creator, but we can't get into that too much deeper. I don't know if you want to say anything on top of that, Jason.
That's good.
And then we got this one again off YD for the last one of the week, and some weeks they're going to be amazing and funny, and some weeks they're going to be truthful. Whatever happens, whatever we see, whatever we build, whatever other people build, we're just going to bring it. And this one says, Bill Gates never finished college, not an engineer, not a doctor, not an epidemiologist, not a virologist, not elected, owns virus patents though, owns a Jabola company though, multiple, and visited this island several times. And his only qualification is that he comes from a rich family, part of the 13 Illuminati families that we were just talking about. I say, and his followers will go around touting that if you don't show me peer-reviewed documents that align with your theories, we're not going to believe you. But this is their savior. This is the geniac behind everything. This guy right here, Bill Gates. You could put right on here, adversary of the truth. Look at this. He doesn't have any qualifications to do anything what he's doing. He was some philanthropist that had bad code, and he turned the bad code into a problem, and then he sold you the fix for the bad code that he sold you. This man. And now he's claiming to have something that's going to just be your salvation. Right? This is his credentials right here. And this one right here. There's many photographs of them together on that island. It's out there, people, if you do the search. So this has to be the interestingest meme of the week for me, because this guy right here has all this power. Everybody just believes everything he says, but yet they'll come to you, they're defenders of him, and say, well, if you don't finish college, if you don't have a degree, if you're not a doctor, if you don't have this, if you don't have that, then nothing you say is truthful. But the guy that they're following, he's the savior. It's all on him, right? He's the big guy here, but they follow this guy to their destruction. So, I don't really want to say too much more on that. What do you want to say, Jay?
I'm pretty sure that the word philanthropist just means technocrat with media attention. Right? So these people are chosen. They come from families that are made already. Guys like Elon Musk. I mean, he can barely speak. He's barely legible. He's derp, and he's supposed to be touted as this great space pioneer and breaking technology guy, and he's going to lead the transhumanists where we're going to merge with AI and all this kind of stuff, and he can barely hold a legible conversation. So from what I've seen of Bill Gates here, he's highly effeminate, looks like he's probably a homosexual, and his only qualification is the fact that he was chosen and that he's got all the money. That's it. He doesn't
Big
have
backer, right, in Boston or whatever.
Yeah, he's got nothing else to back it up. And once again, this is the type of person that we could literally shred in debate.
Mm-hmm. It'd be pretty funny. We brought the actual virology evidence.
Yeah,
but we can't get too deep into that here. We'll get instantly taken down. We've just been tiptoeing on the boundaries.
All right, so
but you can take the screen share back.
That was fantastic. We've had a request that at a certain point here, we have somebody that would like to make a confession, and so anytime going forward now would be a good time for that. I'm going to take the screen share back.
Confession? What do you mean?
Well,
like, we're not Catholic priests, but if people like to share information, they can.
You did sort of a on-air confession, right?
Well, I was held accountable. I put the meme on there. I had to read it. I had to tell everybody the truth. I've suffered. I'm part of that meme. I turned from my wicked ways. I see my wrongdoings. Yes, I was. How could I not? Right? I've been a part of it.
Yeah, we've both done it. It is a nice way to clear the air, to just keep things out in the open. As soon as you try to start hiding stuff, that's when you end up in positions where all of a sudden you might feel compelled to tell mistruths or lies or stuff like that. And so we're just...
I mean, privacy is a thing too. Some of the most beautiful things in your life is between you and a certain person, or, there are just moments that you don't always have to show, but you should really have nothing to hide. I don't have anything to hide. If I say to someone I'm going to do something, or that's what I am that, and I'm going to do that, just like Jason. But, it's a truth thing where you have to build up enough strength to even post truth, to be a person that's sharing truth, speaking truth, writing about truth. You have to have a certain level of a drive to want to be a part of it. And I don't want to ever stifle that in anybody. I want to promote that, because it just gets easier and easier, and you can get better at it and better at it. And you're needed. Spiritual war is a real thing. Did you take the screen share?
Yeah, I just went to thumbnail. And
okay.
So in the chat, we have people talking about temperatures outside. Yeah, so we're finally getting into the thick of winter. We've had a few days here in Texas that have been our coldest. and feel for everybody. I'm not a fan of the cold whatsoever. It's one of my least favorite things.
I'm not into it either.
No, it's
I can deal with it if I have to, but it's really nicer to have a place that doesn't really go below freezing, and sometimes even 80 all the time would be nice. But we can have dreams, right? We can have wants and wishes, but we still have to go through what the elements do and all their damn whatever they do, heating up the ionosphere and blocking the sun stuff. It's just sometimes it gets a little bit annoying with we had that 2-week thing or a week and a bit thing where everything froze here. It was crazy. Like the north came to the south desert almost like. So is someone coming on? What's happening?
I don't think so. We have Christina Cruz that I believe is familiar with you that has been talking about wanting to share something.
Okay, in the chat?
Yeah.
Has it been shared?
It has not yet. So.
Okay.
We are...
what do they want to share?
We don't know. I don't know.
No one really knows about it. She says she spends a lot of time alone. That's okay. We all go through periods of time when we're alone. I spend a lot of time alone too. She wanted to put in the chat. Okay. Did everybody have a good time? I know the thumbnail is pretty serious, right? Jason kind of made that a little bit triggering.
That's what I try to do. I really want to trigger people as much as I can for good, for a positive outcome. So it's 4 pictures. One is the egotism. You got the guy that's taking the selfie picture. Next one's dogmatism. So we got that. Yeah. And that's the one that I really try to imbibe, but not the part of the definition that is based off of not having accurate truth. I like
the
to be
consideration
dogmatic
of each
with
person.
accurate truth.
The change was that we absolutely take into consideration every single person that we talk to, right? The other bad side of it said that someone who's dogmatic doesn't take consideration of who the other person is. That was being attributed that way. And that's more egotistical, because someone that's not egotistical will look at the person and then approach that situation differently. But yeah. And then you've also got who, me?
Accountability. Yeah. Everybody's pointing at me like, what? You expect me to do something, right?
Oh, Veta. Hi, Veta. So I know Veta. Veta's going to be on. She's going to be sharing her story soon as she's ready. She's definitely super close to coming on. She dealt with gang stalking, right? For real.
I gotcha.
She's got a great story. She's a survivor, and her story's awesome. I can't wait to have her on and do an interview, and everybody can hear her story. Because, part of my journey through losing weight and going through trials and tribulations is to share it with the world. You might inspire other people to get out of those same situations. That's the whole goal here. We've always been that way, Jason and I. We both share our stories. We come clean. We share pieces of our heart. So, yeah, absolutely. That is awesome. She's right there. She's sharing a lot of truth. She does a lot of work. She's going to be on soon. So it's good now that I know who that's Veta. So yeah, that's great. I like it when we're honest and we share with people, then we know how we can deal with certain individuals. If you just pretend to be someone else, we'll never deal with the true you. Right. But yeah, so look forward to that podcast.
Yeah, that's great. We, so that should be a clue to people that Ronnie and I are both open to communication with everyone that is interested in communicating. Now, I rarely ever hear from anybody. You hear from people much more often and are much more involved with people.
Not super a lot. The odd time, I've got 2 calls during our podcast ever. So, I mean, my channels are open, all the time. But the more people reach out to me through comments in Facebook, right? Whereas nobody reaches out to you in the comments or in Zoom. It's always been that way.
Yeah,
right? So crickets, Jason.
Crickets, yeah.
So we got Zoom. You're Jason Laufenberg at Mac.com, right?
Yep.
And I'm Awakeeple, AWAKEEPLE at gmail.com on Zoom. And we're always here to talk, to help anybody out with doctrine or any questions. And you can become a part of the team, right? And what we can assure you, right off the bat, Jason and I absolutely are not going to gain anything from any of you. We're not looking for anything.
No, we want to support you so that you are a part of the team, so that we all win, so that we're about. So the best way to, if you wanted to raise a ship at sea, right? So you got this ship out at sea. You want to raise that ship. You want to make it a little bit higher. You want to raise all the ships out at sea. If you wanted to lift them all up, the best way to do is to just raise the sea, right? Then you lift them all at once. So we try to implement that type of strategy where we lift everybody up through one common means, that's through the truth, so that everybody can be elevated all at once. It's not just one-on-one. We're getting paid to do something or anything like that. It's not even close to something like that.
Well, and the other thing is too that everything we do, we hold ourselves accountable for. So, it's weird because people reach out and figure out fast that Jason and I we're not like we're not on, what is that dating site called where you swipe right or whatever? I don't even know. I'm not on it. What are they called? What is that dating site thing?
I don't know.
You don't even know either.
Probably got kicked off of it. I don't know.
No, someone in the chat help us. This is so embarrassing. Okay, I remember Plenty of Fish like maybe 10 years ago, or no, 15 years ago. I was on Plenty of Fish. What are the other dating things that you get today? Where you like, I don't know. I assume it's all filtered up pictures. I don't even know. I don't know. You swipe left or right. Listen, when you come into Jason and I's lives, we actually give a shit about you, right? We don't want to use you for anything, whether it be a man or a woman. We want you to fight for the truth. And we hold people accountable. That's the problem. Tinder, that's it. Thank you, Joseph. Tinder is the name of that site. We aren't here for Tinder. We're here for truth. Right? Switch the INDER to UTH. Truth. 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 I spelled it right the second time. We're not here for that. And it goes for men too. We're going to hold you accountable. If you say you want to fight for the truth and then you don't, we're going to tell you, hey, you're not fighting for the truth. And then if you just want to take a walk, we've had, 20 people, 30 people that we're here to fight for truth. We're with you guys. And then, something they don't agree with us on, and then they're gone. They're gone. Bye. We can't even tell you guys how many times we've seen the chat recycle over and over again. YD, a couple other people have been long time chatters, but I'm just ranting now. We should probably end it. I just want everyone to know that we're here for, anything, praying for you, advice. Jason is great for advice. He's a strategist. You ask him something.
Strategist.
And strategist. Thank you. Strategist. I mean, and we don't always answer things super fast. You got to find us on social media and then reach out and stay committed, and you will have results. We'll do the best that we can. We'll never mislead anybody. That's not what we're here for. And if we make a mistake, we'll admit it. That's the most important thing, that we work together. If you need help and the Father brings you here, we will help you. But it's not always going to be an easy road. You're going to have to do things on the other side of the screen. You're going to be committed. And you're going to be accountable for everything that you do. That's what team you're on. If you show up for advice, just know that if we care about you, we're not just going to let you just walk off into destruction. We're going to fight with you, right? Not against you, but with you. So I had fun tonight too. I know I did a lot of ranting. We had a lot of drop things that person called. But I really did enjoy this time and not having things be perfect. Jason and I are just a couple guys that just want to share truth, and that's it. And we're not Fox News. We're just Yahawahashai News Network. Okay. So yeah, man, thanks a lot, Jay. I had fun tonight, and hopefully we can see you guys all on Sunday.
Yeah. And where's the only place anybody's going to ever hear any of this information?
The Yahawahashai News Network.
to get you feeling so low. That's about when I just took myself. Disco down and checked out the show. And they were dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. And dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. They were dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. And just when it hit me, somebody turned around and shouted, "Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. Break it down." I was a boogie singer, playing in a rock and roll band. I never had no problems now, burning down the one night stands. Everyone around me got to get you feeling so low. That's about when I just took myself. Disco down and checked out the show. And they were dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. And dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. They were dancing and singing and moving to the grooving. And just when it hit me, somebody turned around and shouted, "Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right."